All right, Coach, obviously that wasn't a great first half. What was the message like at halftime, and how did you like the fight that you saw in the second half to come back and win?
Saying it wasn't a great first half is probably an understatement. But the message at halftime was my challenge all week was we got to play hard and we got to play fast. And to some degree, there's another gear in there that I don't even know if our guys know they have. To our guys' credit, they came out and got a spark on the first play, and the defense played a great second half. I wish we could do that the whole game and just really grind down on somebody, but you can't say anything bad about the way that the defense played in the second half. And offense, despite a million mistakes, did just enough.
Scott, you've talked about this many times before about how you've liked the fight of this team, how time and time again they've come back and found a way to do what they needed to do. What was that? What does this show for this team to be able to come back this evening and find a way to pull out a win?
Well, at this point in the season, there's no more prognosticating about what you might be. You know, you are kind of what you are at this point. You know, we're a decent team that's gone through a lot this year. We'll keep getting better, but we are kind of where we are, and we find ourselves in when we play hard and fast, we find ourselves in close games with other teams in the league. You know, we got one more chance to go play together as a unit, and I'd love to see us play our best game.
Coach, you run the ball on 3rd and medium on the final drive for offense, let the time go down. What's the kind of confidence you have for your defense in that situation?
Yeah, I had first of all, let me back up. I want to congratulate Oklahoma State and the guys that are coaching there right now. You know, they made changes mid-season, and I think the guys that are still there, players and coaches, have rallied around each other, and that's a hard circumstance to get better in. But watching them play Kansas State last week had me concerned, and those coaches are doing a great job, and those players are playing hard. What was the question?
Yeah, you ran the ball on 3rd and medium for the final drive offensively.
Yeah.
Let the time go down. What's the kind of confidence you had in your defense? To
You
say
know,
we're gonna
my
get that
mind,
stop?
I'm coming up with plays that I'm like, oh, we might score on that. We could, but when you do some of those things, there's some risk involved, other than just handing it off with a good scheme. And at the end of that game, you know, I had confidence in two things. One was our kicker, because he's done an unbelievable job all year, and the other was our defense, the way they played the entire second half. And you know, we didn't get aggressive in that situation, and our defense won it for us.
Coming out of the break, what did you see from Oklahoma State that led to the play call that led to the big 83-yard touchdown?
To be honest, that wasn't a halftime adjustment. I'd like to tell you that we came in and came up with this great play. That was a play that we had on the call sheet going into the game. You know, the defense that they've adjusted to really in the last 2 weeks really matches everybody in kind of a match quarters, call it zero with no blitz, whatever you want to call it. And when you can motion guys and confuse them with who they've got, you have a chance to pop somebody wide open. You can't go to the bank on it, but they busted that one, and we had a guy run wide open, and we had one later in the game too against zone. We called some of the shots that I knew we had to hit because of the way they were playing in the first half and didn't hit them. Knew we were going to have to hit our share of those because of the way they've transitioned to play defense, and it took us a while to hit one, but that was a big one.
Considering the first half, what does that do to confidence of the team to jump out like that in the second half?
You know, we lost 2 games at home that we had a chance to win, and in both of those games we came out and didn't do much with the ball, getting the ball to start the second half. That was a big improvement, and I think we needed that just to get us within one score. I think that kind of elevated the effort of the defense and the belief that the defense was playing with, and then we managed to get 2 more before the end of it. So I told the team I'm recovering from my 3rd heart attack of the night, but when you get older in coaching too, I think you're able to stay a little calmer, and that's one thing I think our coaching staff did a good job of, not getting frustrated despite some things that would frustrate you, and staying calm and trying to guide the team in.
Coach, considering you talking about you are who who you are at this point, 10 penalties for 72 yards, most of those on offense, holdings, false starts. Just what can you evaluate from that and go forward into BYU?
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm talking about. As much as we talk about work on those things not happening, that's kind of who we are right now, and we have to wear that. I have to wear that as a head coach. Our assistants have to wear it. The players have to wear it. That kills drives, and it did tonight. It's a bunch of things. Sometimes we're not sprinting out to get lined up at receiver, and so he has to wait before he puts somebody in motion, and the offensive line doesn't stay set long enough. We false started up front a couple times, and the holding penalties, I have to look at more than the little tablet I have on the sideline, but those were unfortunate. It's the between the snap fouls that you can't always control, and those are a experience and discipline thing, and I would have hoped we were better at this point. So we have to wear that.
Tayven threw two pretty ugly picks in the first half. He hobbled off the field after a sack. Was there any consideration of making a switch at halftime as far as the quarterback position is concerned?
Yeah, we had plays up for Davi. We kind of talked at half, and we're just going to stick with what we were doing. When Tay does things right, he's good. He's playing his first full year of football too, and we're thin at that position anyway, and we're going to keep making the decision that we think is best for the team. And last week or 2 weeks ago, we thought we needed to put Davi in to get us a spark. This time, because of what we thought was going to work from a play calling perspective, we thought Tay gave us the best chance.
And what do you think it says about him that he was able to rally and make some plays for you in the second half to win the game?
He's done that twice this year, first game and this game. I do feel like once the game kind of settles down and he settles in, I think he plays better. He threw for a lot of yards tonight.
Coach, obviously it wasn't the first half that you wanted, but how does it feel to be able to mount that second half comeback and get the win for your seniors tonight?
Yeah, I started, it wasn't frustration, but there started to be some vocal seniors on the sideline. Paul called the offense up. Miles was getting vocal. To be honest, we need more of that. We need more energy. Our guys play hard, but we don't always have the highest energy because we don't have enough vocal leaders, and it was actually refreshing to see some of those guys do that. I know this game meant a lot to them tonight because it was senior night. I'm glad that they were able to finish it the right way.
Coach, this is the last home game. How would you describe your first season being back home, and has it been a good season?
It's been what it is. It's a fight. When you get 70 new guys in a portal and try to teach them all an offense and a defense, you don't even know the guys that are on your own team, much less who you're bringing in. We've had some unusual circumstances this year. It's been what it's been. And that being said, we've been close to having a lot better season than we have. The cards haven't fallen that way, and we haven't earned a couple. But I'm proud of these guys for progress and fight, and we got one more chance to play together, and I want us just to have fun doing that and shoot our best shot and see where the chips fall.
What would it mean to make a bowl game?
I think it'd be the biggest things. I think it'd be great for the seniors. Is it totally necessary for us to continue progressing as a program? Probably not, but that's definitely a goal that we set out to achieve at the beginning of the year. Certainly a couple games that would have already got us there, but we have one more chance against a really good team. So we're going to shoot our shot and see what we can do.
Coach, in the second half, your defense only gives up one first down. What does that unit mean to you?
Yeah, that unit, to be frank, has been ahead of the offense kind of the entire time. And that's usually what happens when you're installing new schemes, because it's just easier to get defensive scheme up and going than offense. But I think they've continued to improve. Man, Coach Grinch, Coach Dawson, Coach Harris, Coach D'Onofrio, Kenny, they're doing an unbelievable job. And they're shorthanded. We've lost some guys. They're getting other guys ready to play. Kmart's down a couple guys. Doss is down a guy. Grinch is down a guy. That means that they've done a good job coaching the bottom of the roster too. So players and coaches alike, our defense has kept us in some games this year, and I appreciate it.
Coach, the defense gives up 200 yards in the first half. In the second half, it was 27 yards, and Oklahoma State was 0-5 on third down. What changed in halftime to really turn up the juice on the defense?
What changed at halftime is a good question, because I was very disappointed. You can't, as a leader, you can't lose your mind 8 minutes into the game. But I was very disappointed in how that game started. We've made the decision to put our defense out on the field first to start games. In football, people script up first 12 plays, first 15 plays. They hit us with a lot of knickknacks and stuff that got some yards on that first drive. But that being said, if we play the first drive like we play the rest of the game, it's probably we got a little more breathing room. So I want our defense to play complete games. They certainly played a complete second half today.
Scott, you talked about when you came back here wanting to be somewhere where you can go to work and enjoy yourself. So with one game left, you talked about wanting to have fun at BYU. But this season, especially this stretch you've been on, has it been what you thought it would be?
I love UCF. I love coaching here. My family likes it here. I hate losing, and we've lost more than I want to this year. Once that's fixed, I'm going to be a really happy person. But that's first years. I was pretty miserable my first year here, the first go around, because you just have so much to fix and lose my voice at practice. And by year two, the players fixed stuff, and we had a more complete roster. And I'm not looking that far ahead. We're looking at this week, but that's kind of been this year too. And I love it here. Really appreciate this university and the leadership here. I'm just anxious to keep improving.
On a much less serious note, did you notice the shirtless section? I think it was 220 right before halftime. Then they grew at halftime and seemed to bring a lot of energy in the stand.
I did not notice that, but I will probably see it on news. And thank you to them. I hope it was all guys.
Is it finally nice to get a close one?
Yeah. Yes, it is. We've had two heartbreakers at home, and it says a lot about a team. I've been part of teams where when you get in that situation and that's happened to you before, you start to think, oh no, here we go again. Everybody stayed calm, and it was hard to stay calm when we were jumping off sides and getting holding penalties with chances to score and win the game. But ripping a kid's face off for making a mistake doesn't help you win the game in that situation. That's why I say I think the coaching staff did a good job staying calm and leading them home. And I think that, the kids just kept plugging and found a way. And if you're going to win close games, that's what you have to do.
Scott, it looked like on the running game, Miles got a decent start in the second quarter maybe, but then got maybe banged up in the second half. What did you like to see out of him and that group, because you guys were already shorthanded?
Yeah, Miles is, just tough. He's exactly what you want on your football team. I can't tell you how much I appreciate him. He's our best leader. He's a warrior. He wasn't 100%, but he went out there and, even selling out to get that last first down for us on third and short just says who he is. The defense they were playing, they've just shifted to last week, kind of surprised Kansas State with it, and they have a lot of guys on a lot of snaps really close to the line of scrimmage. It makes it hard to run the ball. I thought Clint did a good job of picking his spots to get him out of there and try to take away any shots that we were throwing too. So I thought it was a well-coached game on their part, but it's hard to run the ball on a defense like that when they have 9 hats ready to come cap off runs, and we did a good job earning some tough yards at times.
What did you like most about the job Dylan did tonight?
D-Wade? He got a game ball tonight. That's 2 games at home where we needed a spark and we were on fumes, and he made a huge play for us. He made 2 tonight. He's a big part of this. He's become one of our best weapons, and he certainly can keep improving, and I know he knows that. But the plays he made out there really gave us 7 and set us up for the winning one, and that was a key part of the game.
Kind of guy you want to build a program with.
Yeah. Again, another young guy that hadn't played a lot of football until this year, but he's also somebody that I think has continued to improve and hope we can have around here for a while. Yeah.
All right, Tayven, what's that communication like at halftime? Because, you know, that wasn't the greatest first half in the world, but you guys come out, you get Dylan on that opening series. Just what was halftime like? And talk about that big play you had to get right back in it.
Yeah, halftime was, the speech was just go out there and keep fighting. We made some adjustments. It was more of we just got to play harder, and so that's what we did in the second half and got the job done.
Tayven, Scott talked a little bit about how Oklahoma State's defense did some different things kind of up front defensively to kind of maybe stop some of the run and kind of makes things a little bit difficult. What did you see from their defense that really maybe made it was a challenge?
Yeah, they changed their front halfway through the season. They changed their whole defense halfway through the season. So we got a couple games of what they were showing, and they just put 9 guys in the box and was stopping the run, and we had to go out, we had to go make plays outside, and I feel like we did, but still got a lot to improve on for next week. So shout out to Oklahoma State. They played really well, and they have a great team.
Tayven, what didn't work for you in the first half that you corrected and came out better in the second?
I just think our spacing in the past game wasn't wasn't the best. We were blocking great up front. Pass protection was great all night, and we just got to be better on spacing. I got to be better on my reads. Getting the ball out when I need to get the ball out and run when I need to run. So,
yeah, I kind of want to follow up on that as well. In the fourth quarter, you were making a lot of throws outside of the pocket on the run. You had a really good one, so I believe it was Wade. And talk about that play and just the ability in yourself to make a play on improvising.
Yeah, it was a great play by Wade, and knowing the situation and knowing that he has to get to a spot. He was like the second, third read. Our first read got hit at the line of scrimmage. So. Great play by Wade and getting open, and it was easy for me to just give him the ball. So, and great protection.
How confident were you in Noe in that situation there? At the end?
I knew he was going to make it.
And how important was it?
I think we knew he was going to make it when it was 4 minutes. That we just knew he was going to make it.
How important was it to see a senior step up in a big moment like that?
Yeah, it was great. It was a great opportunity for him. I think this is his first game winner here at UCF. So, it was great for him. Way to step up and make the kick. So great job by Noe and great job by the defense. Yeah, shout out to the defense all year. So,
Tayven, we saw you coming off the field in the first half there, a little ginger with one of your legs there. Just how has you been holding up with that, and how you kind of play through when you have something like that?
Yeah, I mean, both of my knees are not 100%, but it's whatever. It's football, so just got to walk it off and keep going because I feel I'm the quarterback, and if I show weakness, then the whole team will see it, and I don't want that.
Is it great to have like support there and your receivers? You know, Dylan Wade goes and gets 88 yards after catch for you there.
Yeah, that's the type of receivers that we have. We can make those. Every receiver in our room can have those days. So it was great for D Wade and Waden to come big tonight, and you know, shout out all the other receivers too. They didn't have a lot of yards, but they made big plays. Like Speedy made a great play on a rollout to get us a 4th and 1 to convert. You know what I'm saying? So, great job by them.
What has changed for you in terms of finding the sticks when you're running? Because earlier in the year you stopped a couple times a yard or so short in those moments. So what's kind of changing? How have you started to kind of see the field when you're scrambling?
Yeah, I think that just comes with just being comfortable. You know, that's not really my game, is running. I like to throw. I feel like I'm better at throwing, but I need to get better at running the ball and show Coach Frost and our offense that I can run and make plays when we need to make plays. So I feel like I still have work to do in that area, but it was good to see that today.
Dylan Wade is the leading receiver for the team after today's game. Just what's been working well between you guys this season?
Yeah, he's an athletic tight end, and he reads the defense well, and he plays in space, and he plays the grass. He's not a receiver that will run the route like our install picture tells him to, but he'll just run the space, and I feel like I have a connection with him, and I know what he's going to do, and he gets the job done. So.
In the second half, 75% completion rate, nearly 200 yards, and then those runs where they just a Mack truck can drive through. How did that build the confidence in you, as well as what did you see in the defense that really opened up the passing game for you?
Yeah, again, I think that we just had a great we adjusted really well at halftime, and we kind of got in our call sheet a little bit, and great play calling by Coach Frost and Coach Scoop. And the receivers, man, they were running hard, and they got open, and it was easy for me to find them. And they made great catches and great yak yards too. So it was a team effort. My bad. Shout out the defense, man. They've been holding us down all year, and we're just scratching the surface. So.
In an earlier answer, you said that running really isn't the biggest part of your game. Tonight, you were more willing to run. It seemed. Is this game really important because it's senior night? It's last game at the Bounce House.
Yeah, every game's important to me. I don't care about the stats. I just want to win, and I got to get more tough running the ball. So no matter what hurts, I just got to be more tough.
A lot falls on the quarterback, win or lose, goes with the territory. But you've had some close games this year that you guys have dropped, a couple of heartbreakers here at home. To finally lead a drive and get a game-winning field goal and win a close game, how much comes off of you?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. But for the, that's what you sign up for when you play quarterback. Win or lose, it's always going to be your fault, and that's okay, and that's what we prepare for. But it was a great win, great team win. As long as that scoreboard says +1 for us, that's all that matters. So it was a great win, great win for the seniors on senior night. I'm so happy for them, and we just got to keep attacking and keep stacking these wins up. And next week is going to be tough, but we got to go out there and execute.
You were obviously able to extend plays and make plays with your legs a couple times. There was a couple times you narrowly avoided a sack and had to get rid of it. How do you kind of balance trying to be a playmaker and not put your team behind schedule?
I think that just comes with being out there, getting comfortable, knowing when to throw it away, knowing when to run. That just comes with playing. And I think the more I play, the more comfortable I get, because this is the first year I've played a decent amount of football. So I just got to keep stacking days.
With this win, you keep the team's bowl eligibility alive. Just what would it mean for you to be able to get to a bowl game this season?
It would mean a lot. It would mean a lot for these seniors. It would mean a lot for these coaches, their families. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, a lot is on the line, winning and losing in college football. So as long as we just focus on winning, that it'll take care of itself. So that's all I got to say about that.
Tayven, you mentioned just a little bit ago your knee's kind of banged up. Your shoulder was banged up earlier in the year. What's this season been like for you physically? I mean, have you been healthy every week, or has it been kind of one of those weeks where you just kind of drive through the pain?
Yeah, I think if someone asked me that question, I would say I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be out here and to be out here and play quarterback. No matter what the injuries are, I'm just blessed to be out here and to play for this team and this program. Of all the people that have been here, I'm just blessed, and all the glory goes to God, because without Him we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't have the faith that we have as a team, no matter how our season's going. So all glory to Him, and I'm just blessed to be here.
Tayven, following up on that, obviously it wasn't the first half that you had wanted. So what goes through your mind mentally at halftime to try to reset? How much does that affect you in the first half?
The picks? Yeah. I hate throwing picks, but it's a part of the game. Everyone throws picks. Go watch football on TV. But I gotta fix those areas too, because that hurt us. So you just gotta learn from them. You know, I don't like throwing them, but you know, it is what it is. We have one play mindset, so I didn't really think about it after I threw it.
Your teammates refer to you as like a next play guy. It doesn't matter what you did last play. So what does that confidence from your teammates do for you to kind of get back grounded?
Yeah, that gives me confidence because they know that I'm not going to dwell on a play that happened, you know, last play. So I've learned that throughout my college career, and Coach Milton has did a good job of installing that into my thought process.
Did you notice the shirtless section?
I did notice that shirtless section. Yeah, shout out the UCF fans, students, man. They, no matter how this year is going, they've showed up. So
They get a little credit for rallying you guys, inspiring you guys.
Oh yeah, and shout out to the fans too. I mean, we try to get the fans going because it was the last, when they got the ball with 50 seconds left. The fans brought great energy, and I know it's hard as a quarterback when the atmosphere is yelling and it's loud. It's hard to think, and it's hard to get the play call in. So shout out to fans.
Thanks, David. Thank you. Appreciate it. Everybody, thanks for coming this season.
All right, Cole, you guys on defense have been playing pretty solid all year, but that wasn't a start to the game I'm sure you guys envisioned. So kind of what's it like in the moment when, things aren't going the way you want, and what was halftime like because you guys played lights out in the second half?
Kind of just going back to our training, not letting the things that we were practicing day one get out of hand and lose sight of that. So, I mean, just keep pushing, keep flying around, and came out in the second half and changed math, yeah.
Scott mentioned that, guys like Paul and Miles were very vocal on the sidelines. Do you feel like that the seniors and yourselves maybe stepped up a little bit, maybe to try to get the team maybe to rally a little bit in the second half?
100%. I mean, that's our jobs as seniors and as leaders on the team. It doesn't really matter your age, but yeah, we were definitely the most vocal out there on the sideline, which you need, and everyone's looking at you as well. So it's really just things like that, body language, things like that as well. Yeah.
Cole, to end the game, Coach Frost called a run play, let the time run down, no way kicks the field goal. Then it's on you guys to win the game. What does that confidence do for you?
I mean, first of all, no way Ruelas. I will say I think he's best kicker in the country, and if you're an NFL team, I don't see why you wouldn't take him. But yeah, confidence in no way. You knew he was going to make that kick, and then also confidence in the defense as well. I mean, we practice situations like that every week during practice. So getting the job done there was huge for us in the program as well.
Is there anything differently that goes through your mind in a game tying or game winning situation like that drive?
Obviously, you get a little the situation, but like I said, you got to fall back in your training and do what you've been doing your whole life. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say so.
What does it mean to you now to be a Knight?
What does it mean for me to be a Knight? I mean, it means everything. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Coming from playing small ball, FCS. Like I said earlier, I mean, there's about 13 people in the stands right around this time of the year, especially up in the cold. So when you got the fans and the whole stadium speakers and everything going, it makes your job a little bit easier, especially when you can change a momentum like that, like the defense did today.
What do you think you've proven being on this stage?
Like I said back in the beginning, first time I told you guys, I said I was a very confident player. I was very confident how I play. So something I proved. I think I proved I could play on any level. Yep. Any stage as well.
What do you feel like was the biggest change with the defense between the first half and the second half? Because obviously, you had a few drives in the first half there, but you pretty much sent them 3 and out almost every drive in the second.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was winning first down. First half, they were getting way too many yards on first downs, and once that changed, and once I think pretty much every single drive in the second half was first down, we'd get a stop on first down. So that was huge. Yeah, like I said, the difference is that was the first down and flying around the ball.
What's kind of your mindset as a defensive player when you see the offense struggling, and are you going kind of harder to try to make a play, or just keep your composure?
Definitely staying within the scheme, trusting the coaches, trusting our training as well, not letting anyone get too down on the sideline, especially me being a leader of this team. I mean, making sure everyone's minds are still focused on the right thing, on the right goal, and yeah, just pursuing together. Mm-hmm.
Coach Frost talked about the scripted plays that worked well for OK State on that first drive. What were you seeing on the field that was working well for them, and then how did you adjust from there?
Yeah, they definitely hats off to them for the first half. I mean, they definitely played great against us, the defense. But at the end of the day, it came down to straining and really just being around the ball. Like that last play there, I mean, Bellamy gets a hand on the ball and guys are flying to the ball. Next thing you know, it's a pick and game over. So just straining to the ball. Yeah.
First half, 201 yards given up. 50% third down conversion rate. Second half, 27 yards, 0 for 5. What was said in halftime that really changed the entire dimension of the defense?
I think it was really just the thought of last home game. How do you guys want to be remembered? You're going to go out there and you're going to let them roll over us like they did in the first half, or we're going to go out there and make a statement like we did in the second half. So it was good. We changed the mentality of the whole defense there, which was huge. Yeah.
You've lost some close games this year, had a couple of heartbreakers here at home, but to finally get a close one, the emotion of that.
Yeah, huge. I mean, it felt great, especially my last game here at the Bounce House. That was awesome. Awesome for the seniors as well. It was a much-needed win for the program. So getting that win and finally coming out on the right side of things was awesome. Mm-hmm.
You talked about leaders stepping up. Obviously, Braden gets the interception at the end. What was that moment like for your defense and the entire team?
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, you'll see the excitement, and obviously I think we got a penalty because we were a little bit too excited. But thankfully, it didn't hurt us too much. But, yeah, I mean, it was huge for the defense, and it was huge to see Mark, especially we were missing him the past 2 games, so it was huge to see him make a play like that.
Cole, you've got one more game, and you have a chance to possibly be postseason eligible to get to a bowl game. What would going to a bowl game mean to this team?
Oh, it'd mean a lot. It'd mean a lot. I mean, especially how this season has went, how much adversity we've went through, even outside things and within the team as well. Everything's not been ideal. The way that some of those close games finished hasn't been great. But at the end of the day, just keep pushing. If we were able to get a bowl game, that'd be awesome for the program. Be awesome for me as well. I'd love it to be able to go play for a bowl game my first year in the FBS. So yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah. I did. I was getting eyes on them. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. I saw they do that every game. They're at Texas Tech too. Yeah. I don't know where they come from, but they're good stuff.
You would be a shirtless guy, wouldn't you?
100%. Yeah, come on. You kidding me? Jersey? Come on. Hey, guys.
How's it going, guys?
All right. Noah, you've had a lot of great field goal kicks this season for UCF, but how did it feel to know that you kicked the game-winning kick?
I mean, I'm just happy to send the seniors out, on a high note, on a win here, closing out at home, and get ready for, we have one more opportunity, so hopefully, go out in Provo, shock a few people, and get bowl eligible.
No, when you look at that play, when you know as UCF's getting closer to setting up maybe for a possible field goal, what's going through your mind? I mean, you've been through that situation before, I'm sure, at high school and college a little before, but what kind of goes through your mind when you're getting set for something like that?
I mean, I was just ready all game. I actually told D-Law in the third quarter when we were down 7, I said, I'm hitting a game winner today. I feel it. So, just staying locked in and ready for that moment. We just years of training and, good week of practice. So just getting after it and staying locked in the whole game.
No way, you've had multiple 50-yard kicks this year, plus just being truly consistent for this night's offense. I mean, now that you add that game winner, what does that do for your resume? And now that, can anybody say anything to you now?
I mean, yeah, obviously, I think I've had a pretty good year. Obviously, I don't want those 2 misses that I'd have, but I've had a pretty good year. I'm very thankful. The O-line has done a great job blocking for me. Dalton's been money all year. Anthony's done a great job holding all year. So realistically, at the end of the day, I can only be as good as them. So they've been money. So a shout out to them as well.
When you look back at your time as a Knight, what will you most remember, you think?
Just the team and the culture that we've started building here. I think that's important to, note. And, the guys in the locker room, I'm so close with all those guys now, and I've been here for only 7 months, I think. So I'm going to have, relationships for the rest of my life here, and it's been great just getting to know everyone, coming together as a team. I think that you can see that on the field, we continue to fight, and we fight for each other, so that's been great.
How important is it to you to know that you're part of that culture building?
It's great, for me, as a transfer, coming in here, as an older guy, you just want to set a good example for the younger guys, and, you want to leave, an old coach of mine always used to say, you want to leave the program better than you found it. So I think that's a big thing for me, and, just mentoring the younger guys and teaching them and helping them out with whatever they need and showing them how to do the things right. So I think that's been great.
Considering the season you've had this season, stuff you've talked about before, what did it mean to you to gain the attention of the Lou Groza Award? You weren't on the watches to begin with, and you got named a semifinalist recently. Just what did that mean to you to see that?
Yeah, it's been great. At the end of the day, it's just a list, but I've been working for many, many years for that, it feels like. So it's just accumulation of hard work that I think finally is, I've been recognized for some of that. So it's been great. At the end of the day, like I said, shout out to Anthony and the O-line and Dalton because they put me in that position as well. So it's just been awesome.
Looking forward real quick, I know you're accustomed to kicking in the cold. Has Dalton given you any pointers as far as kicking in altitude, considering it'd be 4,500 feet above sea level next week in Provo?
I don't think I need any pointers from Dalton, but in regards to kicking altitude, I actually train in Denver every now and again. That's where my coach is out of. So, and then in Lubbock, I didn't know there was a little bit of elevation over there, so it was fun. Didn't get an opportunity like we'd like, but kicking in pregame and stuff, like the ball was flying. So I'm ready. If we get put up in a position to do the same thing again next week, I'll be ready.
No kicks for you in the first half, but you had the 2 PATs in the second half. Just kind of what's going through your mind and what's your process to stay loose in a situation like that late game when you may not have been as involved as usual?
Yeah, just go about my same routine that I always have. Pre-game, warming up and stretching, and then throughout the game, getting a few kicks in the net here and there and stretching out and, just chilling. Like, you need to just stay locked in. And as a kicker, like I've always said this, you can't really ride the emotional roller coaster. You have to stay steady. So that's what I try to do. And, at the end of the day, we got in a position and it was great to execute.
You talk about building the culture. In the last couple of years, the kicking game has largely struggled, and then you've brought some consistency to that. How do you feel that will help build for the future after you're gone?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think I'm the only senior in the specialist room leaving. So you're going to have Dalton and Anthony, who have shown this year that they can do a hell of a job. So going into next year, like whether that be Noah, who's been great at practice and has really learned from me, or whether they bring someone in, it's attractive to have an operation that has been successful in the past. So that's one big thing. And then, Coach Alomar being here is huge. That was a big reason why I came here. His coaching knowledge and all the connections that he has in regards to my future goals. So, that's a big part of, building the culture in the specialist room going up forward.
Kind of talking about building the culture, all 6 of you came in at the same time. Has that helped kind of build a brotherhood of you all finding out about UCF?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the specialist room is really close. We hang out all the time off the field. We're always joking around, but when it's time to get to work, we get to work. And it's good to have that balance of having fun and, being close and then locking in when you need to. But, it kind of helps that we can kind of set that culture and we can say, like, this is what we do. So having those guys and coming in together with them, like we set, we all work hard. So we kind of set that from the beginning, and it's been great to work with them.
Aside from being the guy that kicked the game winner, as a player, what's the locker room like, the celebration like after a game like that and finally winning a close one?
Yeah, it's great. Everyone was happy. At the end of the day, like I said before, like sending the seniors out with a win. Last home game, it's been great. So, the locker room was all happy. We were hype. At the end of the day, a win is a win. So it's hard to come by in the Big 12. So.
Did you notice the shirtless section?
Yeah, shout out to them. I think that's when we started rallying. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a big section up there, it was it's been going around in college football, but it was fun to see tonight.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
It wasn't a great first half. You guys, you kind of rallied in that second half. Opening series, just kind of take us through that play. What you saw and what was it feeling like when you knew you were going to score?
In the second half?
Yeah, just that big play.
Well, just at halftime, coach drew up a play, and we talked about it. We actually knew about the play all week. We knew it was going to be a big hitter, and he called it at the right moment, first play out of half. And
Knowing it was such a big play, how did it feel when you crossed the end zone there?
it was just another touchdown. We were still down, still trying to find a way to chip away and come back, and that's what we did.
Dylan, what was the halftime conversations among players, coaches, whatever, to to kind of maybe rally yourselves, get yourselves back in the second half?
Just telling each other, like, encourage each other to not quit, keep going, keep fighting, and stay together as a team. That's what we came out and did.
On top of just the offensive struggles, penalties were a huge battle in this one. How'd you guys overcome those?
Again, just staying together. Guys encouraging guys, staying in each other's ear, patting each other on the back. That's what kept us together.
And I kind of want to follow up. You've had a few big games this year. Just what felt different tonight for you?
We finished at the end. We came out with a dub. We were able to send the seniors out the right way. That's what matters. W at the end.
How do you feel you've contributed to the culture over the course of this season?
Just come in every day, work hard, try to get everybody to work hard too, like feed off my energy at practice and stuff like that. And yeah, that's my role.
After today, you lead the team in receiving yards on the season. How does it feel to be able to be that number one target?
My bad. Say it again.
You lead the team in receiving yards this season. How does it feel to be that number one target for an offense?
Just, I don't feel no special, no different. Just playing football.
Coach Frost said you guys kind of are who you are at this point. What improvements do you think the team can make in this last week with a big matchup coming up?
I just say you got to stick together. Just try to shorten down penalties next week and keep playing. Try to play past the chains, stay in front of the chains. Try not to get behind the chains. I think we have a good shot.
Dylan, you made the most out of every target that Tayven was sending your way. Just what's your connection like with him? And then once you got that ball, what were you kind of seeing there to get 88 yak there?
I just caught it, seeing green grass, just was running as fast as I could.
What's it been like connecting with Tayven? Because it seems like you've been one of his go-to receivers when he's under center.
Yeah, Tay's a good guy. I'm pretty sure he probably sees a playmaker in me. I'm not nothing crazy. Just I think Tay know what he got. That's all it is.
Speaking of Tayven, what do you think it says about him that he shakes off what was a poor first half to come out there and lead you guys on a few big drives in the second half to win the game?
Yeah, Tay is a fighter. Tay never like next play. He got next play mentality. That's what I really like about Tay. He just keep going and find a way to make it happen.
Running into the end zone there on that big play to open the second half, did you see the shirtless fans kind of starting to come together, and what did the fans do for you there in the second half?
No, I didn't pay. My guys on the sideline is what kept me in it. Yes, sir.
As one of the top leaders in receiving for the majority of the season, how have you been able to use those results on the field to help energize and motivate the players in the locker room?
I'm just tell them so long, like you said, throughout the season, I just been telling it's a long season. Like, don't give up. Got a lot of games, a lot of football to be played, and I can see a lot of people take that, and that's what they go with. Keep them in it.
Dylan, this has been a breakout year for you. You're UCF's primary tight end. Like Steven said, you lead the team in reception. So what's it meant to be a local guy, a hometown guy, and be able to do that in front of your friends and family and make such a big impact here at UCF?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great, but, again, just playing football again. So, yeah.
And you've been battling. I mean, we know your shoulder's not 100%.
Yeah.
You caught that touchdown last week and came down on it hard. So what's that like every week, just trying to grind it out?
It's part of the game. Just play Saturdays, get back in the training room Sunday, back to it next week. So that's all it is.
You guys are one win away from possibly being bowl eligible. What would going to a bowl game mean for this group, especially considering, how you got, like you mentioned, seniors, some of the mix of young guys, things like that?
It's been a rocky season, a lot of ups and downs. It would be great. It would be great to go out there and win, get one more game with everybody. I know everybody will really enjoy that because our team is really close together, and so yeah.
What do you think you've showed this season? Just kind of, obviously you're maturing as a player. What do you think you've really proven about yourself to other people?
That I can do whatever Coach asks me to. So that's about all.
Thanks,
yes,
Dylan.
sir.